13 years. Well, developing this morning, investigators looking into a deadly double shooting. One person killed, another in critical condition.
Fox 13's Jarita Patterson is on the scene. She joins us live from Pfizer Road. And Jarita, I understand you just talked with a neighbor who says she cannot rest because of all this violence.
You're right, essentially saying she's a prisoner in her own home. Imagine that. And she is saying this is not the first time violence has made its way into her community. Something we've just learned this morning, folks, the person who was shot and killed was a woman, and then there was a man who was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Now, Miss Gloria Moore has lived in this area for 3 years. We're going to join Miss Moore now. And you came out, you said you're terrified. This happened 3 doors down from your home.
Yes, it did. Yes,
Describe to me what you heard, Mrs. Moore.
I heard my husband and I, he has a heart pacer, and he also is a dialysis patient, and he has seizures. It sent him into a seizure, which I was able to control, but I heard pow, 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 a very powerful shooting. From what gun, I cannot describe, but I can describe the impact of it. Okay, we took to the floor. After we took to the floor, I wasn't I came to the door, I dialed 911 first of all, and I don't know who was the first caller. All I know, I dialed 911 and told them, you all know where to go to.
Absolutely. And we're going to show some of that video from overnight, by the way, while you're describing. What was the scene out here? Several officers?
It was blocked. It was blocked off from that pole that's behind us. Yes, no cars could get through until down the street. Probably where that white house is down the street. But I've lived here 3 years. I've had to move from my house that was 2733 Pfizer because I'm not afraid, but I wasn't going to put my life in jeopardy because it constantly happens. We've talked to the police. We've tried to call a neighborhood watch. They haven't returned our calls. They said they would patrol the street. It wasn't 3 days ago that we heard like 13 shots. Okay, the night before that, we heard about 10 shots, just repeatedly, nonstop. It was on our street. Okay, everybody is afraid and hush, hush, but they are afraid and they want something done. I am not afraid. If my life is taken or they retaliate against me, then I want the whole city and the world and my children to know that I am not afraid. I'm sick and I'm tired of it. Many people live there and that don't even reside in our neighborhood. This is more of a retirement neighborhood. People are disabled. People are in their home houses. They can't just pick up root and move like that because of one house. We cannot do it. We are tired. We are frustrated. We are afraid for our lives, but I am not afraid to come up and be the one to say everybody's talking behind the scene, but everybody's afraid of what will happen to them if they actually come out and say what's happened. I'm tired. I'm fed up. I have a heart condition, and I had a panic attack on last night. I was just in a terrible accident, and then now, here it goes now. We having to get up through it every night, every other night, hit the floor. All of these houses have been shot up. The red car, 2 houses down from me, shot up with bullet holes.
I'm so happy you're safe. You and your husband, thank you for speaking with us. My goodness. Thank you, Mrs. Moore.
Thank you.
My goodness. So just to do a quick recap, you guys, this is what we've learned from overnight. One person shot and killed. That victim was female. There was another victim rushed to Regional 1 in critical condition. That victim is a male. This happened around 11 o'clock. We know detectives were on the scene for quite a few hours here along Pfizer Road in the Orange Mound community. You heard Mrs. Moore. She's saying enough is enough. She actually described to me oftentimes having to take cover because of the violence that constantly, as she puts it, makes its way into her community. I can tell you firsthand, we tried to make our way to that home where police say that the double shooting happened. They used a few expletives, so we moved back. And as you heard from Mrs. Moore, she is saying that that's oftentimes the case. There's one particular home that she says is a nuisance. Folks, we're staying in close contact with police. We're going to reach out to find out much more, including a possible possible motive, but I can tell you detectives are saying they are looking for a tan SUV, and they also indicated there may have been more than one shooter, saying that they are looking for the possibility of suspects. Once we get more information on the still developing story, a story that that has some folks, living on edge, we will bring that to you right here on Fox 13 this morning. We are live in the Orange Mound community. Jarita Patterson, Fox 13 News. Back to you guys.
Maybe the DA's office can shut that house down as a public nuisance.
We're getting so numb to this. Ms. Moore saying there have been 3 incidents over the past few days, and then on top of that saying she's not afraid.
Just to speak
because
out.
It happens so often. It's
She said they feel like
crazy.
the prisoners in their own home. Gunshots every night. We'll be right back.
Memphis, the birthplace of rock and roll, and the highest eviction rate in the country.